All right. Everybody, welcome to the Keep the Blue Flag Flying High podcast. I'm your host, Kwan. I have my boy here, Val.
Good night, everyone.
All right. And my next boy here, Brandon.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
So, we back here again. It's a Wednesday night, right? You all know what we come for. We're going to talk about the match review of the Man City game. So, I'll probably start off that with Val. As you know, Val like to go in depth and give all the little data and thing. So I'll post up the lineup and Val go start off. So Val, take it away there.
Okay. Well, we starting lineup. We kinda get it. Well, I won't say get it correct. I know Brandon was calling for Nkunku on the wing, so we saw that. We saw Nkunku on the wing, Palmer on the other wing. I wasn't too happy with the lineup. On paper, it looks good, but in terms of players out of position, in particular, Nkunku and Enzo, that was a bit disappointing to see. And we also saw that in the match itself, right? So I think if we had Nkunku in Enzo's position, and he probably went with 2 out of the 3 midfielders and probably went with a more 1v1 threat on the wing, we probably would have got something out of this match, right? But all in all, it was an interesting watch, right? So we saw Gusto kind of holding the width down the right-hand side with Palmer drifting inside. As I mentioned before, we saw Enzo in that advanced midfield role, number 10 position. At times, we saw this 3-4-4 build up with the keeper coming into the back line with Fofana and Colwell forming that back three. And then we had the 2 fullbacks with the pivot, like Vian Caicedo, in that 4. And then the front 4 was what you're seeing there, with Enzo kind of dropping a bit deeper to kind of connect the midfield and the attack, right? So as I mentioned before, Nkunku didn't have the best of games in terms of what he could have brought in terms of his impact. We love to see him more centrally, and this game actually showed that, right? 1v1, he wasn't getting better of his man down on his side there, so he wasn't good 1v1. So I don't think, well, this is just one match, so I'm not sure if you could make that statement that he may not be used there or can't be used there. But for this match, he didn't look that good on the wing, right? So we didn't have much width. That was disappointing to see. Also, Enzo had a lot of opportunities, but there is to shoot or create something better, and he let us down with either bad control. He had one good headed chance that he missed, a great cross from Neto, right? But on the better side of things, we saw Lavia looking really good. He kicked off from what we saw in preseason, very press resistant. I think he had like 97% passing accuracy. So he was really doing well, collecting the ball on the half turn and then passing it out. I think he had one chance created as well. Defensively, he wasn't bad. Still could have been better, but we can't complain too much, right? I know you're saying, Kwan, that you still probably could have benefited from a more defensive sitter holding midfielder, number 6, right? But I think it could work with Lavia and Caicedo because they're both proper athletes. They offer a lot defensively, also with the counter press. I think the most disappointing thing was Gusto as well. As you're seeing here, you're seeing Gusto with a 5 rating here. I think that is really representative of how he played. I feel like defensively, last season against Doku, he really pocketed Doku. But this match, Doku got the better of him a good couple of times. A lot. Even Cucurella, I find sometimes Savinho was also getting the better of him. So I wasn't too impressed with the fullbacks in terms of defensively. Also, Gusto had opportunities to put in a first-time ball or a better cross, and it was a bit disappointing as well. So it wasn't his best game, but we know what he can bring. Also, just a striker. Striker is needed. That box presence, that person who could occupy defenders, create space for others, and actually put the ball in the back of the net. That is needed. And last but not least, for my standouts, or not standouts, but my talking points, because he's certainly not a standout. Well, he's a standout in a bad way, Sanchez. So for those 2 goals, I think he could have done better. In terms of the first goal, he could have been either more quicker, coming out of the line to try and stop that shot. And the second one, he kind of initiated that whole issue with passing to Fofana. I think he passed it twice back to Fofana in a kind of dangerous position. Fofana just kicked it out. Kovacic picked up the ball, dribble past two of our midfielders like they weren't there, and slotted it into the back of the net. Sanchez could have done better and saved that. So all in all, it wasn't a bad match from us. I think we had more, like a better XG than them, more passes into the final third. So progress to be made. So that's my points there.
All right, all right. With the Lavia and the Caicedo partnership, I actually enjoyed it in the first half, but you could see that after when Lavia came off, and Brandon pointed that out before in the last podcast, that Lavia had to start. We see it, and he looked really good, press resistant, making tackles, getting the ball forward. But as Lavia came off, I find the midfield looks so flat. The midfield looks so flat. I don't know if they realize that.
Mhm.
You understand? And that is, to me, that's how Kuvard pick up the ball and do what he had to do for the second goal. Brandon, what was your takes on this match?
I agree with nearly everything that Val has said. I can't figure out how Enzo have a 7 on this rating thing. That to me, I have no idea how that could be possible. Um, and well, Cucurella have a 7. That's true. The other thing is too, I don't know, this whole rating thing kind of turned me off because I didn't find a lot of the players were that good. I thought Fofana was definitely not one of the best players on the day. Neither was Cucurella. Enzo wasn't either. I agree with Val about Gusto not having a good game. I also thought Palmer was a bit quiet. And it could just be because he now coming back. I think this was only his second game. I think since he's come back. So I think I think we have a lot of positives going forward. But the problem is, what do we do with Nkunku? That's really the question. Because we either all overall we bench him or we move him centrally and we have to take out somebody in the midfield. So it'll either be I think it's either Lavia or Enzo that will be sacrificed if that's the case. But I
Mm-hmm.
can't tell you who it will be.
So
Because Neto came on and Neto looked very good. That was one thing I was glad Val didn't say because I wanted to mention that. I think Neto came on and looked really good. I think he
mhm.
looked positive. I think he was moving. His movement was really good. He was putting in some good balls into the box. There was one really bad one though, but I mean that was his first game. I think he will only get better from there. And if I'm being honest, I think Neto is in line for a starting spot like right now based on that performance because he's definitely not going to start in Kunku there again. So yeah, I don't think I have
so
anything else to say. Sanchez boy for both of the goals as Val said. My goodness, I can't believe it. But yeah, that's all I
so
have to say.
so before we go ahead, I got the ratings on SofaScore. I just followed the rating on SofaScore and I went at it. Right? And Kunku as on the wing, rubbish. Pure rubbish. Right? You see Kukurea was running on the left and Kunku was allowed to cut inside and do his thing. Fine. But for me, Enzo should have came off at halftime for Neto. That is my thing. Right? I
Mhm.
think Nkunku would have done much better than Enzo in the pockets because it are times where Enzo get the ball at the edge of the box, miscontrol it, lose the ball. And that more than once. I don't know if they realize that.
Yeah, it
And
did.
I
Yeah.
yeah, and to me, Nkunku would have done much better in those situations. Having to run from the left wing to cut inside to do all that, it kind of take away from him from his game, and it was too much for him. That's why for me, I think in the first half we saw how much space he had on our left wing, and he could because he's not a left winger, he didn't know how to use it properly, and
Mhm.
that when Pedro Neto came on, you saw how he had this space on the way. He could have done what he wanted. Not done what he wanted fully, but he ran on the line. He made the crosses. He dribbled. He beat some men and so forth. But Enzo, for me, Saturday I just put the score from sofa score. Like sofa score fault, sorry, sofa score. But they give him a 7, so that's already 7 day. Right? But to me, if I have to drop anybody right now, it'll be Enzo. That's my thing. I find Lavia and Caicedo look really good together in the double pivot, right? And it kind of for me, it kind of tough to drop in Kunku. And Kunku is a really good player. Pushing them out wide is not where he's supposed to be. And if you're gonna force him out to play Enzo, who could possibly end up doing the same thing again against Wolves or against whoever we had to play after Wolves? I'm not too sure. To me, it don't make sense. He's not a pocket player. He's not a playing that little pocket behind Jackson with Palmer. But Palmer was poor because of preseason. Because he didn't get preseason. But I don't know how they feel about that substitution for the second half. But that is how I feel that Enzo was supposed to come off. Jackson, can't even talk about Jackson, no way. Jackson ready for shit me in that game. I don't know what
I,
all,
I,
yeah.
I have a question for you though. Like, what do
Yeah.
y'all think about the the option of dropping Jackson instead and playing Nkunku as a striker? Because I've seen a lot of people say that. I don't think that would be the way. But I want to know what you all think about it.
So it's either Val talk first or I talk first. So Val, you want to talk first or you want me to talk first?
I could go first, it's fine.
All right, good.
I remind me preview for this match. I mentioned that as an option, and
Mhm.
Kunku on top with Palmer right behind him. I think that could work. Like once you have somebody close with him, he can link up with, and he alone not occupying like two defenders, and you've seen those nice little link up plays, it could work. But as I mentioned before, I think that box presence needed. Like we don't want it, we need it. So as
Mhm.
much as it could work, it wouldn't be my optimal position for him. As Quan rightly said, I think his best position is where Enzo is in this lineup here.
Mhm.
I would really and truly bench one of those three. Unfortunately, because we pay almost 275 million for them. But really and truly, Enzo need to realize that they can't play all three. Even in the big matches. Because I know you want your control and stuff, but if you play in the three, you can't play them like this. You can't play Enzo high up like that. Whether you go with a midfield tree or the diamond I was mentioning before, where we would have
Mhm.
probably saw Lavia at the base, Caicedo right center mid, Enzo left center mid, and probably Nkunku on the top of that diamond, then perfect. You understand? But if you're not doing that, then I don't think you should be playing all three. Right? So yeah,
Yeah.
Nkunku behind, ideally behind a striker. But if we don't get Osimhen, then I think more often than not, I don't mind seeing him there, but I need to see Palmer closer to him, and probably Noni on one wing, Neto on the next wing as the 1v1 threat.
I think it could work, Val, if he have a big striker next to him. You see, if you're playing him on top with a Osimhen, a target man who could bring down the ball late after him. Like if you play with a Giroud, I think that could work. If it's he and Giroud on top in a two striker formation, fine, all fine and well, no problem. He could play on top, but I don't think he could play on top as a lone striker, especially in the Premier League. Um, and in terms of that midfield tree, that and so, like if he wanna force all of them on the pitch at the same time, I think it would only work like if is like if he playing a normal 4-3-3 with two wingers, which I doubt I mean he might do it sometime in the Premier League, who knows? But or he play a 3-5-2. There's something I could see that working. But other than that, one of them three had to get dropped. It have to. Especially with now that he have a next player who's also good in the pocket, who we'll mention later on. Yeah. One of them midfielders had to get dropped.
And I think that's the same thing with Pochettino, right? He was trying for too long to try and shoehorn Caicedo,
Yeah,
Enzo, and Gallagher in the same lineup. But really and
correct.
truly, you don't need all three. And
Yeah,
when
you
he,
don't, you don't.
yeah, fortunately, Enzo, well, unfortunately slash fortunately, he got injured. Right, he had the surgery, and
Mm-hmm.
we saw Caicedo and Gallagher as the
Mm-hmm.
pivots with Cucurella inverting. And we saw the
Mm-hmm.
best out of Palmer. He was able to go in that central position, have more freedom, and Noni holding the
Mm-hmm.
width. And we also saw Palmer just linking up with Noni at times, alternating positions, keeping the defenders guessing. So I think Enzo needs to realize that he watched all the matches from last season. I think he probably has an idea that that may be the way forward, especially with, as you mentioned, you have more pocket players. Also, the threat with Neto and Noni. I think he can more than rest one. We have a lot of games. That's reality. We have 5 substitutions. Lavia is coming back from a full-time injury that he had most of last season. Caicedo isn't fully fit right now. Enzo also coming back from his surgery. And these guys, Caicedo and Enzo, plays a lot for the national team as well, traveling to South America and back. So I think he should take it upon himself to rotate them. Like you don't have to play one every single week. You could go with combinations and you'll get different things out of them depending on the matches. I think 2 out of the 3 is ideal.
Yeah. And I think he went for the midfield tree because he wanted control in the midfield against Manchester City. So that's possibly why he went for three. But who knows? We could probably he might possibly do this thing against Wolves on Sunday. So it remains to be seen. But I really hope that I know it's tough to drop one of the three because Endo's a great player, Love is a good talent, and Caicedo is a really good player too. So, but as of right now, I think it'll be tough, but I think Endo should get dropped because at least not Caicedo, Lavia, he's pressure resistant. He's looking good. He can make tackles. Enzo, somehow, and I saw it on Twitter the other day, and the person was right. Since Enzo left Benfica, I find like some of he had a little more bite in boy, and now it's like you know it's like he in the prem and he get kind of soft. To me, even when he was playing in the World Cup for Argentina, I used to see him running in circles, and you could see a little more bite on him, even though he's not the biggest player. But you know what I mean? You understand? So I don't know, but let me post up the past map there, so they can see a little thing. I don't know if Brandon probably gonna talk about this and whatnot. It's up to Brandon.
Yeah, this is. I actually looked at this on another. I think it was the FPL website or something. But it was interesting to me to see the it was five like going across. So you see how high Gusto is. You see where Palmer is. It was quite interesting to see. And Kunku was playing so high up, and I mean, it still didn't work out for us in the end. So it'll be interesting to see when we have the other players coming into this how this is going to change because we obviously going to play a lot different. I think we'll be a lot higher as well. Um, so yeah, I think it's quite interesting. I don't know if I'll have anything you want to add to this.
No, I just again the position that Nkunku is taking up. I don't think that is his ideal position. So if we saw him in that camp position, like that would have been more ideal with probably Neto in that left midfield position.
Mhm.
I think just the ability that Nkunku has to break the lines with his dribbling abilities. Like we saw that with against Real Madrid in particular when he run past Rudiger who almost broke his leg. Right? So he has that potential to run through the midfield like that. And honestly, I think Enzo needs to take a little inspiration from how Man City set up against us. You understand? Having those two wingers that they had, I know I kind of diverting a bit, but having those two 1v1 specialist wingers that cause us a lot of problems, right? And then you have KDB and Silva in the midfield who had that license to kind of drift and be about the place. So I prefer to see that probably whether it's Enzo or Caicedo in one of those positions, and then Nkunku in probably that Bernardo Silva role. He has the ability to probably even go out on the wing sometimes and also just drift back in inside. So it's interesting to see how he sets up in the future.
Yeah. But it showed on Sunday that he is not stubborn, that he's willing to try things because he actually didn't play no inverted fullbacks. But we came into the preseason saying, all right, well, we're gonna expect the fullbacks inverted and so forth and so forth. You see that on Sunday. He actually and I mean look at Kukurea is look where Gusto is. Do you understand? They played. I mean, Gusto played much higher up to allow Palmer to drift inside, and then even Kukurea was pressing also. So he showed some kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Val know the word I'm looking for. He
Versatility.
correct. Yeah, he showed some kind of versatility on Sunday, and hopefully we could see that going forward in the future. In where according to the opponent, he switch it up. I mean, yes, he still have his possession football, but he switch up certain things about how we play to because according to the opponent. So hopefully it stays so, and we move from strength to strength. Because I on Sunday I find I saw some positives. Was not a lot, but we saw some positives because we didn't play like how we play in preseason. In preseason, I find, especially before all the matches before the Inter game, the defense was looked timid. The press was all over the place. The marking was all over the place. Um, we was not as good going forward. We still wasn't too good going forward in this game because Jackson messed it up. But but today, I mean on Sunday, sorry, the team looked more solid, more structured in possession. Out of possession, the defense could do a little better. Um, Brandon said he didn't really like how Fofana look. I find Fofana. I was okay with how he played. Yes, he made a
Same.
lot of fouls, but he was aggressive off the ball. He went into tackles. He learned to win back the ball, even though he fouled hard on a lot of times. But he played how we know he plays. We know he should play before he got that injury. Colwell, on the other hand, I find Colwell he looked a little more timid. I mean, he's not this big aggressive defender, but I think he need to add a little more aggression to his game because we in the Premier League, we're going to be playing against a good strikers and unless he could um get more intelligence in his reading and whatnot, but he still has to have some kind of aggression when he going into tackles and so forth. But other than that, the team looked good to me. Well, good enough. We really need a striker. Really need a striker. I don't know. I don't. And Enzo said it after the game. Something just mixing in the box. So yeah. So I think that's enough for the City game colors. We can move on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wanted to just agree with what you were saying regarding
Mm-hmm.
the defensive setup and the defenders in particular. I forget to mention that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you in terms of Fofana. I think he had a decent performance, factoring in everything, right? His injuries, etc. I think he was decent. I think he was the better out of the two, right? I think Colwell, when you look over the goals, I think he could have done better for both goals. As you rightly say, you need to be more aggressive. You need to have a better reading of the game in terms of when to press, when to close down, when to get tighter. So I had that issue with him for a very long while, especially when he's playing left back. He's not being aggressive enough to close down the crosses into the box, but also when someone shifts and shoots quickly, like he's not able to keep up with them. So yeah, he needs to improve. But all in all, it wasn't too bad. Defensively, as you already say, it was an improvement
Mm-hmm.
from preseason and is only up from here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we move on to the Servette game. Servette, we don't really know much about them. We know there's a team from Switzerland. We know that Vega played them last season, but we know nothing else about them. Let's take down this here. So we actually want to build the lineup right for the match tomorrow on the pod. So let me just share my screen there for all. Yeah. Right. So this is this site has been using. Home crowd. Right. This is the lineup I kind of put together already. All I could tell me if all I agree with it, I kind of it's looking so small, right? I'm kind of zoom into this there. Hold on. See, looking better now.
You go one
Yeah,
more.
One more.
Yeah.
Good.
Nice.
yeah, I'm
That's good.
fine with that. Yeah.
All right. So cool. So this is the lineup I set up. This is what I think would start and should start. Right. I don't know how you all feel about that, or you think we should make some subs.
Brandon could go
um,
first.
um, interesting. And I think I don't think this is too bad. I try to think about what I would have done, what I would do instead. Um, oh well, I mean, I think is it good enough to bring up the Felix point right now? Because we kind of kind of dodging it for the past few minutes.
No, I'll
So
bring up the after because he's not going to play in this game anyways.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't think he even in this team. Yeah, he
yeah,
wasn't
he's
they
not
wasn't
in
able
it.
to select him. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't think we could do anything else with this team. The only thing I would probably change is I would probably play Neto instead of Mudrik. But apart
Mm-hmm.
from that, I think the team is perfectly fine.
All right, because
Well, I wait.
go ahead, go ahead.
You know, I like to contradict you. I have a couple of issues with the team. The thing is, what do we want? Do we want consistency moving from like one game to the next, or do we want to see like other fringe players getting minutes under the belt, or we want to see like a combination of the two? Because that is where the lineup will kind of go. I'm not sure what route he will take in terms of 'cause you know when our manager comes in for the first time, he uses these matches to also give like the players more time to build that chemistry. So I'm not sure if he might go with a stronger lineup, but let me go with what I think it would be, like factoring in all of those different points. I don't think Disasi will start. I think Tosin will be there. There was an admin
Good
error
call.
that
Good
he
call.
that he got left out from the list. He's actually on well
Before
in the
before you
list.
continue, I
Mhm.
only I only I created this lineup before the say that Atara admin error. Otherwise, I would have put him over the Sassy.
Okay. Well, all right.
Yeah,
So we agree with that. I don't know if you could change it one time. You could change it, no, or not?
yeah. I just
Yeah.
had to zoom out.
All right. So yeah, Tosin. I know you like a chimpong, and I don't mind starting him, but I think Gusto might start, and probably he will
Yeah.
come off the bench. I think Gusto might get like a little 60 minutes because he didn't look good in that next game. So I
Where
don't mind he getting more
hold on.
like a confidence booster.
Where's Tosin number?
Not
Four.
3 or something, 4.
Four
One of
ends.
them numbers,
It
yeah.
is four. Yeah.
All right, cool. So this Sassy for Tosin, right? Cool.
Yeah. So just mentioning, I like the shout with a chimpong starting. I actually don't mind him starting, but I don't think it as realistic as we think. I think Gusto will get probably like a
Mhm.
50, 60 minutes under his belt just to build more
Mm-hmm.
fitness. Also, getting like I don't know if he might try inverting the fullback in this game. You understand? Or if he will go back with what he tried. So if he's inverting, I think he might want to give Gusto another opportunity to try something different in this match. Especially
So
like if you're going
William.
with this midfield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're going with this midfield, I think it's a bit light in terms of I know it's a not a good team we're playing, but still, Kanye and KDH they're not going to offer as much defensively. So most
Mm-hmm.
likely we're going to expect if we're going with this, we're going to expect one of the fullbacks to invert. So I don't mind a Chimpong, but I feel like realistically Gusto going to get the start. Just to breeze through quickly. as much as I like Kanye, I also feel like Kanye not going to start really and truly. I think Gisberry Hall will start, yes. Lavia probably, or he might go Enzo Caicedo. I think Caicedo need the minutes to get back that match fitness. So that I will play. I will actually start Caicedo and probably instead of Kanye. And if you want to go with Lavia, fine, because he was the better player. So consistency, yeah. But we also have to remember he come back from an injury, so I'll kind of be a bit easy on him. Right, I agree with KDH. The front line, I don't mind, but I also want to see Neto, but it's a throw between Munchik and Neto. So this front line, I agree with. And then probably Neto
So
coming off, coming on.
so the reason why I put certain players here on this team is because we have a game Sunday. We have Wolves Sunday. And I don't think we home. I think we have to travel to Wolves. This game we actually home. Right? Which is a plus, but we still have to travel to Wolves on Sunday. So I think the team possibly wouldn't be this. It'll be stronger because as you say, he want to build from from the last game and so forth and so forth, and he wanna build some chemistry and he wanna get some fitness up and whatnot. But I think I expect certain men here to start. So I expect Jorgensen to start. I expect Vega to start because Kuku came off with a small injury. I expect Gadashita and Tosin to start. Probably not Chimpong, but I really like if he would because it's a game where Service is not the best team. It's not like it's this big. Will beat her, they in champion, they in conference league to be honest. And it's not one of the good teams in Switzerland. So I think it would have been good experience watching Pong to start this game. I expect KDH to start and probably Lavia, and I expect Mujik to start. Not Mujik, Madueke. Probably not Mujik and Giu, but I would like them to start because, as I say, it's an easier game. They get some minutes under the belt because we know Sunday the most they might do is come off the bench and not go and start. That's just me,
Yeah, I
right?
think
But
at least
yeah,
6 or 7 for sure will start. I think
so yeah,
4 to the back 5,
Solomon
KDH,
zoom out.
Madueke for sure.
Someone go zoom out and give her actual lineup that most likely will start. Then we take E out. Then we take E out. In Caicedo. Then we take out E. Most likely Neto will start. And probably not Giu. Probably Jackson will start. And that might more be the lineup for tomorrow.
I think it'll be good if Jackson does play, so that he would
Mm-hmm.
actually be able to score his first goal of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be good for him going forward, and that will help us. So I would like if he starts, and only for him to score goals. That's the only reason I would like him to start.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't mind Giu playing tomorrow.
Yeah. I rather Giu starting to be honest. Jackson have a lot of games during the season. You have something to score. It's not like Colts is this big great team. Although whatever I fell on the team there who not coming. A little rough. So you only go see him Sunday. But know what I'm talking about. He
Oh yeah, Mascara.
yeah, it was a little rough. A little while. I see he choke somebody he choke who's this?
Havertz.
Yeah, he choke on the ground. I was like, whoa, what's going on there? So yeah, Jackson might like that. He like a little challenge. But yeah, I think the team might look more like this. Makinde. That's what I could see. The team might look more like this on tomorrow. But we'll see. What time is that game tomorrow? Actually.
I think it's 3 o'clock. Um, yeah, just
3 o'clock Trinidad
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
3 o'clock
this
our
might
time.
also be a good opportunity to also kind of test Palmer as a 8 too. So I don't mind him coming off the bench as a 8, probably for Caicedo. We could probably see how that looks. I think it's a good
Yeah,
opportunity to test him as an attacking midfielder.
yeah. So we really can't talk too much about this game because we don't know Servette. We at least for the next game when we have to go to Servette, we will get more understanding how they play and how they are and whatnot. If there's a good enough team and so forth, because we at least see them play once. But yeah, I we can't talk too much in this game. So moving on. Yeah, fellas, we moving on, or we
Yeah, yeah,
still?
yeah. Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't have anything else to add about the game. I mean, after the
Yeah,
game, that's when you'll have more things to say because I
yeah,
really don't
correct.
have anything to say about Silver.
Yeah,
Julie.
yeah. All right. So transfer news, boy.
And there's been a
So
lot.
yeah, boy. So we actually have a few. So that we could talk about the outgoings. So what's his name? This guy who going to Burnley. Um, Bashir. So Bashir gonna learn to Burnley with a obligation to buy. Broya going to loan to Ipswich with the obligation with a option to buy. Um, Sterling has been placed in the academy training, in 21 training. They tell him to bust out. Lukaku deal is advancing. Um, who else? What outgoings we have?
Trev lost his number as well, so he's
Who?
definitely on his way out. Trev.
Yeah, Trev. Yeah, Trev lost his number. To be honest, I really, really want where they can't sell him, then I'm selling Disasi, and they bring him back into the team. I would love it so much, because I really don't want Trev to go. I find Trev's a good player, and he don't fuss about being a backup,
Yeah.
even if he had to be a backup. And I don't know if they realize, and even when Trev started the season, though he started the season as a backup, he's always find himself in the team. But they realize that
Yeah.
he's always find himself in certain lineup. Eventually, he's always find himself there. So I really hope it end up that way with this Assi, because they want to sell this Assi too, or Barrier Shield, one of the two. And like they say, Newcastle want looking at this Assi as an option because they can get Quay. So and Gallagher gone. What is the value? See the picture? Well, and I took a pop when they announcing
Yeah,
Gallagher.
boy.
The pa picture of a dog, and I and I had to go jacket.
Oh, it put any group chat.
Yeah, it was real funny.
Yeah, I think that's
I
it.
found it was real funny.
Yeah. I wish him all the best though. I think he will be really good
Yeah,
for
same.
Atletico. And I hope they treat him really well. I don't see Azpilicueta, but I'm putting his hands around his shoulder, helping him with the Spanish, etc. So I really
Yeah,
believe that he will do well.
same. I think so too. And he fits Simeone's style. He fits his style. With Simeone's with dog football. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so he fits his style. So I really think we probably should have kept him, because we need somebody like in the team to come on and do some dirty work and whatnot. But so let's go. Did we have any more arguments?
Well, I have Alice here, Eddie Beach, Crawley Town, Caleb Wiley, Strasbourg, Gilchrist, Sheffield United, Ogochuku,
Yeah.
Southampton.
Southampton. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, the usual. Well,
Santos to Strasbourg.
Slanina, yes, Slanina, Barnsley, Anselmino, Boca Juniors. We loan him back to Boca Juniors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Malangsa gone, Morera gone. And yeah, that's basically it.
All right. So Brandon Bridgen come back to the club. Like Brandon, a long lost Bridgen, Jao Felix.
Yeah, we don't talk again, boy.
Yeah. So all of us feel that we value feel that way, by that he should not come back.
I don't think he was needed. So yeah, he
All
shouldn't
right.
have
So
come back.
all of us should not, all of us be believe that the club should not go back for him, but yeah. So hopefully he do something good. We had to back him now because he in the team. But
Can I just say that I actually don't think the price we paid was
was too
that
bad.
bad.
Yeah.
Like I think for that price, I would be because I haven't seen his wages yet, so I'm not 100% sure What his
They say he
wages
take
are.
a wage cut. They say he take a wage cut.
Yeah, they said it was a wage cut, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think it's 46. Is he total or something like that? Like to me, that's not a bad price. It's a gamble, but I would probably take the risk, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. But yeah, the price is the only thing justifying it for me.
Yeah. But you know, Atletico have a cut if you sell on, right?
Well, what are you gonna do?
But it's crazy. You know what the man Doctor Action no cut here. Bust out all the way my da, but you know what I mean. But yeah, he was the only incoming this week. Yeah, we had nobody else. So hopefully we get something before transfer window close. Awesome, man. But yeah, that's the transfer news. Or anything else I'm out? Anybody who was coming in any rumors? No? Alright. Cool.
Yeah, nothing really. Just small little ramblings about Sancho. Small little
Yeah.
ramblings about Joe Gomez.
Yeah,
Nothing.
the Joe
Nothing to
Gomez
talk
one. I
about.
remember that
Yeah.
one.
Oh, and I hear the offer the offer Chilwell to Man U. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and then small little rumors about Newcastle.
With this I see.
Nah, well, this I see yes, but Noni as well.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, oh yeah, and they say well with Kani, the only way Kani can go out, they had to meet Uly's close.
yeah, as I mentioned
Yeah.
in last spot, I don't mind taking like a cut and then just doing a buyback and slash sell on.
Mm-hmm.
Really and
Yeah.
truly.
And before we move on, Brandon boy back in your team. Brandon actual boy back in your team.
Yesterday.
No,
Oh,
yeah,
Cassidy. Yeah.
Cassidy. Yeah. I was shocked with that one on Brandon. I didn't expect them to put him back in your team.
Well, though, I mean, to be honest, I was very shocked as well. But I'm very happy because I think if he is ever needed, I think he could
Mm-hmm.
be. I think he could do a good job for us. I think
Yeah.
he's a quality player. So I'm excited about him being here. Hopefully, he still gets opportunities.
Yeah, and he's a good box crusher, you know.
Hmm.
So we could probably use him like that anytime we have the come off the
Yeah.
bench or we got injury or something, you know. But yeah, so moving on to the last thing, which is the game. So
Hey.
so we actually didn't get nobody to respond on Twitter. So people on Twitter, you better now, please. I begging. We just asking for a response, but we that's what we want. But yeah, so but we actually did get from all our social media platforms. So the actual winner of that match, the man of the match was Lavia. So Lavia gets what 3 points?
Yeah, that's 3 points for Lavia.
Yeah. So 3 points for Lavia. 37 more games to go. Actually, we counting the other games too, like FA Cup and Carling Cup and Conference League, and it.
Now we're just doing the league.
All right.
Yeah.
Just making sure. 'Cause I don't want anybody get confused now.
Yeah, we're just doing the league.
Also, I think we should start off with the game going forward from as the first thing in the show.
Yeah, for sure. We can do that.
Yeah. Where you think, Valley? To get everybody a little more interested in the
Yeah, I
game.
don't mind. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah. So guys, we probably start off with doing the game at the beginning because because I been even sure for the years we just find pod. So no it even have a game. The way probably anybody answer on Twitter.
Hmm.
Yeah, probably should have started up with that. Oh well.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious to hear who all I think was the second best player though.
I know mine. I rather Val start off.
It's tough, it's tough, it's tough, it's tough, it's tough, it's tough. Um, I'll I'll have to go for final. I think
Same
out of
same here.
everybody who really played, no one really was a standout, especially what we normally expect from them. Palmer, Silent, Jackson. What do you know about Jackson? Jackson. And Kunku
Mm-hmm.
wasn't good on the wing. Caicedo, I find, was mid. I know he offered that physicality, but overall he was mid compared to what he normally provides. Enzo had some good opportunities, but also he was mid. Levi mid, Gusto mid, Cucurella okay. So I think it might be Fofana second and probably Neto coming off the bench third.
Well, I was gonna say that Neto was the second best player for me because when he came on, he looked like he wanted to make something happen. He was trying to get everybody else involved. So for me, that was the one of the most interesting things about the game, that one of our subs that got signed recently is one of our best players in a game like that.
Well, we know Neto was a really good gamer. I mean, is a really good player, and he did run City to the ground last season in the two games that he played for Wolves. You know,
Mhm.
so we know he was a good player. It's just for him to stay fit. Hopefully, he stays fit. I mean, we got a really good season for him, and I think he will benefit so much for having a striker who's good in the box. See those crosses that he was playing in, and the little cutbacks and thing. I think somebody will benefit so much from that if there was in the box. Jackson
Mhm.
Finance in the box. But yeah, Jackson. Before we continue, Jackson, get me really frustrated with that. Or I surely know what our chance. The chance where he found something in the box, dribble, and then push even further, and then get and had to. I think he ended up passing it off, or he got a shot. And I was like, this just sums up Jackson. Yes, frustrated. But yeah. So you have
Anybody
anything
for
else?
the No, who's on the third best? We had a award 1 point.
Oh, only 1 point. Neto.
So Ole have so Val, you have it the same as Kwan?
Yeah, I I will switch to Neto to Fofana one because yeah,
Yeah,
as
correct.
you
Yeah,
mentioned, he really came on and just show Maresca why we need that touchline winger. At least one starting at every game. Whether it's Neto, whether it's Marueki, right? We need one touchline winger starting a game.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Right.
correct. Yeah,
So and he
yeah,
came on and he created two chances that was more than or equal to like everybody else on the Chelsea side, right? So
yeah.
he will offer that creative spark. So yeah, I'll put him second and well Fofana third. But yeah,
Well,
the
since
options was real horrible this week for sure.
since both all yeah vote for that means it goes so 3 for Lavia, 2 for Neto, and 1 for Fofana. So cool, Brandon. Don't forget the McDonald thing.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
haven't heard it.
yeah, so going forward, we go start with the game. I think in the next pod, guys, we will start and we'll give all the instructions all over again of how we're doing it, and we will let you know who are the points and whatever going forward from the beginning, so they would know, be a little more interested in the game and probably know what the game is, especially for people who don't make it as far into the pod. Because some people they just this entire pod might do the first 15 minutes, the first 20 minutes, and then cut off. Especially if the pod long. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But that's it for tonight, guys. You know, hopefully we see you all back again next week. We'd love to talk about the Wolves game. What the turnover is too short. Um, but yeah, so have a good night, everybody. Um, hope you all enjoy the game tomorrow, and hopefully we blow Servette all the water and like 5 or 6. So who knows? I will open, but yeah. So Val, have a good night. Brandon, have a good night. Everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, up the blues. Keep the blue flag flying high.
Up the Chels.
Let's go. Night everyone.